If we think back through history, we have battled against nature to survive. Times are different, and we don't have to fight as hard as we once did.
The greatest assemblage of mammalian biomass ever produced by Mother Earth was in the form of American plains bison. 50 million, 60 million strong. And in a matter of a few short decades, brought to the precipice of extinction. With the constant stream of settlers expanding ever further westward, came an increasing demand for hide, meat, and bones. The story of the bison is really a story of sadness, a story of destruction. And now, regeneration.
This is heaven on earth, a little piece of paradise called the Flying D Ranch. It's been in egg production for a long time. This was a breadbasket that fed Montana through the gold rush days and into the cattle era.
The Flying D Ranch is a 120,000 acre private ranch at the very northern tip of the GYE. The Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem is one of the largest intact ecosystems in the world. We have a herd of about 6,000 bison, which is roughly equal to the bison population of Yellowstone National Park. Our mission is to balance commerce and conservation, to ranch and be productive and profitable in concert with nature. So I've got 320 two-year-old heifers in here right now. It's the first group of bison that we have functionally grazed on the farm fields down here ever. Did I look cool when I just jumped over there?
That's pretty cool.
Historically, the Flying D was a very conventional cattle and haying operation. Thousands and thousands of acres of hay and crop ground. Intensive cattle raising.
When I met Ted Turner back in 1995, he was just getting into the business of conservation through land management. He had just recently bought the Flying D Ranch here in Montana.
Ted made the decision to rewild the ranch, eliminating much of the farming enterprises, removing cattle from the landscape, and reintroducing the native species bison. We let bison be bison. By bringing them back onto the landscape, they're filling a void that has existed for over 100 years. All of the species here evolved in the presence of bison. The plant species need that grazing in order to flourish. These animals are evolved to live on range and do what they're doing. There's no better place for them than this pasture right now.
Bison ranching the Turner way. It's a serious business, but it's guided by a spirit that celebrates wildness, that celebrates the importance of this great native species.
The unique thing about the Flying D is that all of the apex predators are present here. So we have a pack of wolves, we've got grizzly bears, we've got black bears, and we've got mountain lions. Because of that, we're gonna have some predation, some mortality driven by predators. We accept that as part of this rewilding process.
If you're gonna ranch in large carnivore country, the livestock of choice should be bison because they are as bulletproof as anything out there.
We're a segue between winter and summer ranges for migratory big game species. We do our best to remove impediments to their movement across the landscape through wildlife-friendly fencing. We're a safe harbor and a necessary landscape for those wildlife to continue to survive. We are entirely ranching in harmony with nature.
This is perfection. This is nature at its best. This soil is absolutely full of life and doing everything it should. You know, the old adage, you are what you eat, is so true, and we're finding this out with science now. Those nutrients and that energy flows all the way up through the food chain and all the way back down. In essence, it all boils down to one thing. It's rebuilding those cycles in nature and really reconnecting that food web. So let nature do its thing. It'll grow a bounty out there. Let four-legged critters and ruminants harvest it. This is, I want to call it a different way to do agriculture, but it's actually the old way of doing agriculture. We promote life. That's what we do every day. I wish that every consumer could hunt and forage all their food. But if you can't, the next best thing is build a relationship with your food supplier.
Why should I care about conservation? Why should I care about the health of Mother Earth? It's provided for all the needs way back to time, and it's going to continue to do so. It seems limitless. Nothing could be further from the truth. Let's assume for a moment that you're a person of faith. How can you love the Creator and not love the creation? And if you love something, how can you stand by and watch it needlessly destroyed without rising in defense?
Every customer that buys Force of Nature meats has a touch point on this ranch. Those profits go right back into the property in the form of conservation.
If we want to save bison, we need to eat bison. Although they've made a great comeback in places like national parks, that's not a scale big enough to truly save them as a species.
If you believe that native species in great big wild landscapes should be part of our future, choosing bison makes sense. It makes good nutritional sense, it's good economic sense, it's good ecological sense. That just makes good sense. For regenerative ranching to work, we have to have consumers committed to a better tomorrow. If people are interested in affecting change, they should be mindful that their dollars represent a choice each time a dollar is used. So choose a product that fits your spirit.